Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Jews with the News podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Jack.
Yeah, and this
And
is our
we're
very
doing this.
first
This is
episode.
this is
Yeah,
what we're doing.
yeah.
Um, so me and Eli have gotten bored very recently. Um,
We've been bored for a while.
we've been bored for a while, so we've been talking about doing something like this for a good amount of time. And today's the day we're finally actually
Yes, Jews with the
putting our
News.
ideas into fruition.
Jews with the News is the name of our podcast. However, uh, do not get the wrong idea. That's what I'm trying to say. We are not a news show. We took the name because it rhymes and because it's funny. But what is the show about, Jack? Do you want to explain?
So basically, we just wanted an outlet to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. We don't really care what other people think about our opinions, and that's kind of the whole point, is to show that you could talk about whatever you want to with your opinions without having like hate come at you. And we just wanted it just an outlet to just speak our mind, talk about whatever we want to talk about, have some of our friends come on, and maybe in future episodes so we could talk about what they want to talk about, and just have a good time doing it.
Yeah, it's really like if we decided to start writing a diary together, and then we slowly started adding our friends into the diary, and then we shared our diary for everyone to see. So that's kind of what this show is, I think, in a nutshell.
Pretty much.
Yeah, sure. This is our first episode, so it will look a little different than most episodes. The typical format of an episode will be a little shindig with just me and Jack, and then we'll have a guest on and we'll play some games. We'll talk about some things maybe, and it'll be very free flowing. So one
It's whatever
episode.
the guest would like to do.
Exactly. One episode we might choose to talk a lot about sports. One episode we might choose to rank our favorite fruits. It really just depends on
It
the
depends
week.
on whatever
Um,
the hell
yeah. If you don't like our episode one week, stick with us or don't. Yeah.
we don't care.
We don't
We're
care.
not here for us.
It's Jews with the News. Yeah.
Just Jews with the news. All right,
Um,
would you like to talk about our first order of business?
I would love to talk about our first order of business. Okay. So the very first segment of Jews with the News, we will be discussing something a little sporty, if you will. We're going to be talking about quarterback Patrick Mahomes' contract, which is, I believe, the largest contract in North American sports history.
I think it's actually the largest contract in sports history.
There you go. It's
Could be wrong about that, but
10 years, something like $400 million guaranteed, $450 million.
yeah. So it's 450, and it could be up to 503 million.
Exactly. So I think the first question I have for you, Jack, is it worth paying someone $500 million in a sport where one bad injury could ruin someone's career?
And that's the risk. I think Mahomes is, he very well could be the best football player to ever play. I mean, if he plays the next 12 years, he will be the best quarterback to ever play, the best football player to ever play. So the Chiefs are like, we need to lock him in for this long just to make sure that we have the player that could very well be the best player ever. And the reason why you don't see a lot of like long contracts like this in football is because uh, the injury concerns. I mean, like people in football get injured quite a lot, and they tend to be detrimental to people's careers. So, I mean, do I think he's worth the money? Yes. I think he should be paid that amount of money. Do I think it might be too long? Yes. There's just so much that's up for grabs, and so much like that you just don't know, that it's just a concern to be locking him in for 12 years. For if it goes up to 503 million, I think it's 477 million guaranteed,
Yeah.
which is absurd amount. And if he gets hurt for the rest of his career, like, I don't know.
I'll tell you what my biggest fear is, besides the injury, and I haven't read. I don't know if there is a contract to read yet. I mean, I assume there's like the details have been finalized, but I haven't actually looked through it. But my question is, paying someone that amount of money, uh, I don't know if they're going to be able to afford other players, right? You think about, especially in the time of COVID, where, next season there might not be, they won't sell as many tickets, they won't sell as many merchandise most likely, right? Ads will be down a lot. So their salary cap will be a lot lower. And so I worry if you have to pay Patrick Mahomes that much money with a much smaller salary cap, will they still be able to afford other players?
His contract, his like that 10-year period doesn't kick in until after his rookie deal is over. These next 2 years he still has his rookie deal. I think this next year he's making like $2.5 million, and then the year after he makes like the 24.5 million that's left on his rookie deal, and then the 10-year period kicks off where it's like the 450.
Got it. Got it.
So that's not really a concern for right now, unless COVID, continues until that long.
Yeah.
But I mean, I mean, it's crazy that somebody can make that much money playing football for like 19 games a year. Like, that's ridiculous.
It really is, especially like when someone who plays at that level makes $40 million a year, right? Like $45 million a year. And then like someone, right, like your third string cornerback is making like what, 150,000, which like is by no means bad money, but like just like the disparity between like these
I think they're making more than 150,000.
You do?
Yeah, 100%. Especially quarterbacks, like even third string quarterbacks still make millions.
Yeah. I just think it's,
I could be wrong.
I don't know. You're the sporty person.
I could very well be wrong, but
you know sports.
With that conversation over, I'd like to touch up on a more serious note.
Ooh, Jews with the News gets serious.
And you've read about the Deshaun Jackson situation that's going on right now?
Yeah. Would you like to explain, or do you want me to?
I can. Okay. So basically, what's been happening is on Instagram, Deshaun Jackson posted quotes from this Islamic leader who's known to be anti-Semite, and he also posted a page of a book that quoted Hitler, saying that the Jews are blackmailing the African American community because the African American community are really the real people of Israel, and the Jews are blackmailing them to think that they're not. And it's like, I think the whole situation is a problem because, I mean, he was anti-Semitic and he did apologize. I'm not going to say he didn't apologize, because he did apologize, and the
Right.
Eagles have come out and they're still like deciding on what they're going to do. But like, as a Jew, you have to know what you're posting. You can't be that he apologized, but he's still,
Right. For sure. I mean,
still being anti-Semitic. I don't care if you apologize. Like, if you say the N-word, you're still being racist. Even if you apologize, you still were racist.
Right. I definitely think that there needs to be a pretty, concrete action. Pretty severe, I think, consequence needs to be given. I do think that in a sport where part of, players' jobs are to hit people in the head over and over again, stuff like this is going to happen because, the more you get hit in the head, the crazier the things you start to say. But I don't know if he did it because he's, in the NFL, but I think that, his actions warrant severe consequences. And I think that also being in a profession where, you get hit in the head lots of times means that, players are going to be doing stupid things, right? Myles Garrett hit, right, clobbered what's his
Yeah,
name in the head.
yeah, with the helmet.
Yeah,
We
with the
thought
helmet.
Mason Rudolph was it?
Mason Rudolph or someone. Yeah,
The Steelers quarterback.
yeah. What he did was definitely not was definitely unexcusable. Like I want to make that clear. Like I think there needs to be a punishment because like obviously I also think that we part the next conversation we should be having is player safety.
Okay. I do want to touch up upon. So there was an incident, I think it was in 2013 with another Eagles receiver. It was Riley Cooper is his name. And he's white and he was caught on video saying the N word and being racist. And I think the way that the Eagles dealt with that situation was they put him on like administrative leave or something, and it wasn't really like too severe, and his career didn't like end at that moment. And now like I'm seeing the backlash to Deshaun Jackson is like he should lose his job, he should never play football again. And I'm just thinking like although like I agree that in 2013 like he should have been punished with his job, Riley Cooper should have, and in this case I believe that Deshaun Jackson should be as well. uh, However, because of the precedent that was already set, and now I feel like it's awfully because Deshaun Jackson is black, I feel like that is creating an even larger like negative sentiment. Even though what he did is horrible, like I do think that does contribute to people calling for his release.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I don't think he's going to get fired because I think that, right, the Eagles, the football team, right, it's a business. So I think, the Eagles are going to say, like, what he did was terrible.
And
But,
they'll put him on like
right.
administrative again or
But
whatever.
he is one of the better he is probably like the second or third best wide receiver on the Eagles, right? And so I think the Eagles, right, when they're talking, right, they're thinking how are they going to make money, and I think they're going to ultimately come to the decision that Deshaun Jackson being on the team would make them more money than if they were off the team, and whatever boycotting that comes from Deshaun Jackson staying on the team would not be um, severe enough to warrant his firing, which definitely, is like wrong. But you have to look right, like the Eagles are a business, and when you're a business, right, like your first thought is money, and so oftentimes, things like what is right kind of gets put like behind
Mm-hmm.
the conversation.
Yeah, which I mean sucks, but I guess it is what it is. And
It is what it is.
I do think that like even though it's inexcusable, and I do believe that he should be released. I don't. I understand like sort of what he was trying to say. So I don't think it really came from like an anti-Semitic place. I just think that he was misinformed. He didn't read the full context, and then it got out of hand.
Right. I mean,
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the
he
doubt.
might
Like
just have been dumb, but I don't think that like, excuses the fact that what he said
exactly,
was wrong, right?
exactly. I think yeah,
He's supposed to be held accountable.
yeah,
But yeah.
agree. Okay,
Yeah. Our
now
last topic.
yeah, our last topic that we wanted to touch upon is the Kanye announcing that he's running for president for
Yes.
2020.
Yes.
I found this article from Forbes. Actually, I think it
I mean,
was.
I'm a strong supporter of Kanye's political campaign. So I
Oh,
think,
100%,
yeah, yeah.
100%. So I just wanted to state what this article has said. Uh, I think Tuesday. So this article came out Tuesday, or he was interviewed on Tuesday, and it was basically saying that he's running under the birthday party
Amazing.
because he says he's running for the birthday party because when he wins, it's gonna be your birthday.
It's gonna be like
He then said that his White House like model, like his model or whatever, is gonna be based on Wakanda, the fictional country from Marvel.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
like, let's be honest. If you had to like have a fictional country be the place where you live, the technology in Wakanda is probably the greatest in
Yeah,
any
but
fictional
we don't
universe
have that technology.
that you know of.
No, we don't have that technology.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when Kanye becomes president.
He then says he's vaccine. He's anti-vax.
Of course.
So, and then he says, which I thought was interesting. He believes Planned Parenthood has been placed inside cities by white supremacists to do the devil's work.
Hmm.
So that is basically saying he's pro-life, which, I
Right.
mean, his opinion. Not going to touch up upon that because that's just what he believes. But it's interesting because a lot of the white supremacists that you see now are also pro-life. So why would they put in Planned Parenthood? It seems awfully contradictory.
Okay, so like contradictory, I feel like is where Kanye thrives though. I feel like the way Kanye is going to win is just saying a bunch of different things and then everyone's gonna like be really confused and then like a small portion of people are actually gonna vote and then
Bless you.
thank you. Sorry, I feel like that's how Kanye is going to win, like with contradictions. I feel like the only way he will win is with God telling Kanye that, he has to just say a bunch of stuff and then people are going to get so confused. And that's the only way it's going to win. I also think it's funny that Kanye said that uh, it's God's plan because I feel like that has been like, I feel like a lot of people have been like, ha ha ha, like he thinks like he talks to God. But like, I looked it up and it's like something like 10 other presidential candidates in like the past like 20 or 30 years have said on record that they believe that God has told them to like run for president. So like I just think it's really silly.
Mm-hmm. I would like also to touch up on another quote that he said because I'm just finding this article full of stuff. So he said that he's no longer a Trump supporter,
Hmm.
which I don't know when happened, but he says that he's no longer a Trump supporter. And he's not trying to reelect Trump because like a lot of people are saying that he's going to take away like the black vote from Joe Biden, which I'm going to touch upon later, but I wanted to just focus on this. He says I'm not saying Trump's in my way. He may be a part of my way. And Joe Biden, like come on man, please, Obama special, Trump special. We say Kanye West is special. America needs special people that lead. Bill Clinton special. Joe Biden's not special.
Okay, here's what I will say. I agree that we need someone special in the office. I don't agree that like Bill Clinton would be considered special or Kanye West or Trump. I also, but I do agree with him. Like Joe Biden is not special. Ideally, I would not have him in office. But like also, your other options like
Yeah,
Trump.
I,
So like, I'm not an idiot.
I agree with that. It's funny that I think he included Bill Clinton in that conversation. I just found that
He
funny.
can play the saxophone and he knows the economy. Like, come on, that's a win-win right there.
That's a fair point, dude.
Yeah,
That's a fair point. He
yeah.
he also said, and this is the part where I'm actually like agreeing with Kanye. What he said something along the lines of that white people are telling black people that you're not black unless you vote for Joe Biden or you vote Democratic. And I'm
Right.
not saying like, oh, I do that because I don't do that. But I also do think that there are people who do that, who do tell black people that if they don't vote blue, that they're not black, which is ridiculous. I think you deserve to have your own opinions. And that's actually something that I agreed upon while reading this article is like, you should be able to think for yourself. You shouldn't have to be peer pressured into voting blue. He said that he's been a Trump supporter, but he didn't vote Trump because of like this he said like, oh, his rap career would have been over if he voted Trump because like he wouldn't be considered black anymore. And I mean, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but like I do believe that it's important to establish your own opinions, and if that goes against the social norm, then that goes against the social norm. Like that's just how it is.
Right. Like we shouldn't criticize someone for voting for Trump because, they're a certain race. We should criticize someone who votes for Trump because they're like an idiot, right? So, but
Well,
yeah,
careful, but
be careful.
I
Yeah.
agree.
In a respectful way, obviously. But yeah, like stereotyping is like bad for I agree with you. And there's definitely a lot of that in the Democratic Party, which is
And
also bad.
it's similar in a way to like how people tell me that I have to be pro-Israel because
Right.
of Jewish, but I can still establish my own opinions on that matter. Like I don't have to like conform to the social norms. Like I
Sure.
shouldn't be told that I have to do something because I belong to a certain group.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just my opinions.
So why do you think he's running? Do you think he's doing it to
I think
get Trump to win?
I don't I don't think he is. I think he's running because he thinks that he should be president.
I, I genuinely believe that Kanye West is not smart enough to like come up with the idea that he should run to help Trump win. And like
I think if anything, he was told to do that, and I don't think he was told to do that.
right.
I honestly don't think it's a ploy to get Trump elected. Like, I think that's stupid.
I think that he just like had a dream, and in that dream he was president in 2020, and so like he announced. Like I think he's just Kanye being crazy.
He said that presidents should be chosen by God, and that if he wins in 2020, it's God's will, and if he wins in 2024, it's also God's will.
Yeah. Also, I don't think he's going to be on the ballot in any state in 2020. I think all the deadlines are over
He
now.
said in that article that he can like make an argument because of like coronavirus and like get on, but he says that he's got till the end of July to get on most states is what he says. I don't know how much is
Maybe
actually.
that's right, but I think I don't know. I don't think he's going to be on every state, on the ballot in every state. I think that people who are write him in those states are idiots. But yeah, like I think all it's doing is just like making 2020 an even worse year.
Uh, I
That's
mean,
Cheers with the news for you. Sometimes we're light, sometimes we're.
it could. I honestly do think that 2020 can get better.
You do?
I've got faith.
So how do you imagine 2020 ending? December 31st, 2020. What does it
Uh,
look like?
it looks like a New Year's Eve thing, but like social distance where there's not that many people.
A Zoom New Year's party.
Sure, let's
Yeah,
go with that.
yeah.
Gosh.
I think that there will be like, I don't know. I think like there's gonna be like a species of tiger that like for some reason just like comes out of nowhere and just starts wandering the streets throughout the world, and like that's gonna be another thing we have to deal with. There's a
Okay.
part there is a part of me that wholeheartedly believe that this is the start of the apocalypse.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Because like what in the Bible, right? If we're saying that what the Bible, like let's assume right now that the Bible is literal, which like it's not, but like let's assume it is, right? The Bible says like disease, famine, right? Like it lists like all these natural disasters, right? That is like what we're going through now, right? I think like in like, you know, a year from now, there's just going to be a beam of light that takes everyone up to heaven or sinks everyone down to hell.
And on that note, I think that's a good point to call it.
Okay.
Uh, this has been Jews with the News.
We want to give a shout out to Daniel Zhang, who
Oh, shout out my boy Daniel Jung. He's the
DJ
man. He
Danik.
knows why. He's the boy.
He edits our videos for us. He is amazing. And also, if you want to be on our podcast as a guest, please reach out to either one of us. We would love to talk to you. We'll put our email in the description below.
All right. See you next time.